Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading for Tuesday, December 7th, 2020, or December 7th, January 7th, 2025. Let's see if I can shuffle these without making too much noise. I'm using the Darkwood Tarot today by Sasha, mostly because of the Mars in Cancer. So today, Mars goes retrograde into Cancer, which is an interesting aspect in general. Mostly just super inflammatory, and I have my moon in Cancer, so I'm particularly aware of it, and I've been listening to some of my favorite astrologers about it just to see, what the themes could be, because I do like themes. Clearly, patterns are my thing. Okay, so if you like these readings, please like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new video. I'm just going to cut the deck and get started. See if we have anything interesting to talk about today. Okay. The sun. Interesting. Now, this deck is a shadow work deck, okay? But some of its cards seem to be a little bit more in alignment, in my opinion, with a traditional deck, in that the sun is very much about truth and illumination, regardless of which deck I've used. What I find beautiful about this deck is that quality of the light in the way the artwork was created for this. In the traditional deck, it's a bright, vivid yellow. In this deck, it's kind of got this mellow subtlety to it. And whenever I look at it, I always think about how very early on in the morning that the sunlight kind of creeps in. And it creeps in the windows, underneath the curtains. And there's a slow process of illumination there. And that's what the mellow light in this image always reminded me of. This slow, gradual coming to the truth. The Ace of Cups. An offer of love. New sense of fulfillment. Also, a beautiful thing about this Ace of Cups is the pentacle that I always love also here. So the sun leading into the Ace of Cups tells me that there's a truth about something close to the heart that needs to come out or needs to come up. That pentacle is the reality of it. The crow bringing the pentacle for me is very much about understanding the reality of the thing that brings fulfillment, or the thing that you're looking for, or the thing that's been offered. So it's understanding the physical aspect of the fulfilling dream, or of the substance of the heart, the emotions of the heart. Followed by the Page of Pentacles, which is, again, a thought about physical reality. Pages are at the beginning of the process. I know I've said this before, but they're at the beginning. So they're in the thinking stage. They're often just beginning the process of reaching out towards whatever the suit represents. So with the Page of Pentacles, it's money, physical situations, so circumstances that require active participation, resources, things like that. With this page, followed by the Ten of Wands, there's an active choice here because of a slow but ever-growing reality, ever-growing truth coming into focus that's now putting some light on something of the heart that now needs to be reconsidered. Now, what I mean by reconsidered is thought through in how the physical part of it may require a release of a burden, a release of an old cross to bear. Let's make sure that these are seen. The Hierophant, higher contracts, marriage, divine knowledge, skill, stubbornness, Page of Wands, again, that page. So there's that thought process about this burden here, represented by the 10. Two of Pentacles, a choice, and then the 8 of Pentacles, which is work. 5 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So the 5 of Swords tells me that this is an active conflict. Very Mars retrograde in Cancer, to be honest. Which is funny because as it starts today, I would say be aware of how your past ideas and beliefs may influence current conflicts and how it may be obscuring a truth. Because the thing here is that the Hierophant is about contracts. So it makes me think that any actual conflicts that come up of any substance over the next few weeks they're actually necessary on some level. They are important. I love the keys and the snake. It's the year of the snake, by the way. So the interesting thing about the Hierophant here with me is the symbols, is how we can essentially translate this to understanding that we need the information here. We need the keys here. The pieces that are missing are implied in the contract between us and whoever or whatever else we are in conflict with. And that as we slowly go through the next, I would say, 3 to 6 weeks, there is a slow shed of light on something that allows us to put down this burden, to think of whatever the circumstance is in a whole new way, and therefore to make a better choice. 2 of Pentacles often is about not knowing what to do. 2s in general are about choices, but the 2 of Pentacles is not knowing how to affect a situation, or in other words, new ventures. The 2 of Pentacles is all about it not really mattering which choice you make, because both will succeed in some way, right? But it's this feeling of, especially in the shadow work aspect of it, it's this feeling of, oh no, I don't know what to do. I'm tortured over which way to go. And the 8 of Pentacles is the choice to get to work. Or what do we work for? What's interesting in this deck with this image from the 8 is that it's a lot more like the 7 in traditional, visually. Traditional tarot gives you the 7 of Pentacles, which is, the card of reaping what you sow. So it's more about the harvest, so to speak. Whereas the 8 of Pentacles is about work and getting to work and continuing to be dedicated to a cause or a purpose. This 8, she's taking the fruit from the tree. So she's got this aspect of, result. It's the result of the work. 4 of Wands. Oh, interesting. This 4 of Wands always, I don't know, it's intriguing to me because it's the troll under the bridge, but in the traditional deck, it's a portal. And this 4 of Wands, or the 4 of Wands, is actually an incredibly wonderful card of union, like the Hierophant. There's themes here of coming together with something or someone. There's themes here of soul contracts and destiny and fate, and all of the words that I tend to take issue with because I tend to be a bit more about self-determination. But this 4 with the troll under the bridge tells me that there's more information to be found as you go through the portal, as you traverse the bridge, as you go from one state to another, from one dimension to another, as you navigate this conflict, or as we navigate the conflict. What's interesting is all the hidings. See the little creatures in the cave and the troll that's by the fire. So it almost implies this idea that as you travel through this portal, something might come up that is surprising, or that you thought may have been left in the past, when it isn't. Because there is something blocking a way forward that is very close to your heart, or our hearts. That Ace of Cups there. It's the core to the reading. Something's very important to us, individually, collectively, and instead of actually going towards the thing that's very important to us, we're throwing up, God knows what right in front of it to just make sure that we obscure the truth so that we can stay safe or stay in a state that makes us think we're being, following our purpose. There's this difficult belief system that needs to be dropped. Queen of Swords. Well, at least there's the energy to drop it. I love the Queen of Swords. She does not play around. And Judgment, release. So yeah, there is a release of this burden, which is nice to see, because the conflict that comes up over the next few weeks or whenever, if it comes up for you, seems to be the thing that needs to get out of the way, or it's going to illuminate the thing that needs to get out of the way so that you can actually move forward in a totally new and different capacity. Making that Two of Pentacles choice without feeling so bogged down by whether or not it's the correct choice, and more involved in whether or not you feel good about it. The Queen of Swords and the King of Wands, interesting. This is a nice complementary influence for this type of work, because the King of Wands brings adventure and passion and that sort of warmth that the Queen of Swords lacks. So there's a nice balance here of the warmth and the nurturance with the clarity of mind that can potentially aid you in defeating the troll under the bridge, so to speak, in that Four of Wands. Now, I do want to say that the Four of Wands for me is one of my favorite cards, mostly because it's the card of soul partnerships. It's a card of union between equals. And it's also very much about transitioning from a place of difficulty to a place of success, at least for me, because of that portal. King of Pentacles, so many here. That kind of completes the picture for me, although unless the last one is the King of Cups. No, it's the Three of Cups. So there is something to be celebrated here. Okay, there's definitely something resolving in that the conflict that comes up over the next few weeks is probably going to solve a problem. So if you can be a little less afraid of conflict and a little more focused on how to improve the situation, or how to improve the clarity of mind, how to improve the warmth and nurturance involved, and how to improve the stability, the focus on stability that the two kings and the queen represent. That Three of Cups to me is very directly the party between the three of these influences. So it's the gathering, it's the coming together of clarity of mind, the warmth of the warmth of nurturing. Think home, think sanctuary, think creative passion, right? For that King of Wands. And then the King of Pentacles is the, how do I stabilize that nurturance? How do I make this work best for everyone involved? How do I use my wisdom to stabilize the circumstance for everyone? So there's definitely a collective aspect here that as we each work on whatever conflict comes up, we are affecting more than our own lives. And I think that is maybe the truth that the sun needs to illuminate. This is not just about you individually, or me individually, or us. This is about everyone. This is about how we proceed as a collective. Are we going to once again I feel the need to bring up the individualism thing again, but there is a sense here that individualism is not going to work this time around. It's about self-honoring and honoring of others. This is about how do we work together to create better circumstances for all, not just how do I keep myself in an okay or good place. That Three of Cups tells me it is a collective thing as well. Threes are groups. So there's more to the picture here than I think most people are going to see right at the beginning of this transit. But as we navigate Mars through Cancer, retrograde through Cancer, be aware that your emotions will be heightened. You will be touchier potentially than you are normally, especially if you have Cancer placements, or at least that's what the astrologers is saying. It's up to you how far into any of this that you engage, how much of this you're going to engage with. It is up to you whether or not this archetype helps you. But today's reading blatantly says that there's something coming to light, and it's going to shed light on our heart. It's going to shed light on how we express ourselves and our emotions, and whether or not we're telling the truth, or whether or not we're acting from the truth, or whether the truth we think we're acting from is actually just a belief system from the past. But whatever happens from here on out, through, I would say, the next, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks, is definitely necessary. It's necessary to push us forward, because the choice we're trying to make is actually not completely illuminated yet. We don't actually have all the information, and we need to keep working at this until we do. Okay, well, have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Bye.